Have you ever felt like everyone else got a manual for life that somehow never reached you? While other people seem to be landing careers, building relationships, and moving confidently toward their future, you're still asking questions, still searching, still trying to figure out where you actually fit. And maybe the hardest part isn't feeling lost. It's watching people who seem less thoughtful, less self-aware, sometimes even less capable, move ahead while you're still figuring things out. It's enough to make anyone wonder, what am I doing wrong? But psychology suggests a different possibility. What if you're not behind? What if you're simply moving through life in a different way? Because some people spend their early years collecting achievements. Others spend them collecting understanding. And understanding is slower. Deep thinkers often struggle in environments that reward speed. They question things other people accept. They analyze opportunities instead of immediately chasing them. They spend more time asking why than what's next. From the outside, that can look like hesitation, but there's a downside most people never talk about. The same mind that creates insight can also create paralysis. The same person who sees possibilities can become trapped between them. Deep thinkers don't just see one path, they see 10, and choosing becomes harder when you can imagine every possible outcome. That's why many introspective people spend years feeling stuck. Not because they lack ambition, because they're trying to build a life that feels meaningful, not just successful. Psychologists often describe part of this process as identity exploration, the slow work of figuring out who you are before deciding where you're going. The problem is that identity exploration is almost invisible. Nobody sees the beliefs being questioned, the values being refined, the lessons being learned. From the outside, it simply looks like delay, but delay and preparation aren't always the same thing. And this is where life becomes interesting. As people get older, speed becomes less valuable than alignment. Many people eventually discover they've been climbing a ladder they never wanted to be on. The career looks right, the life looks right, but something feels missing. The people who spent years understanding themselves often have an advantage here, not because they have all the answers, but because they know which answers matter. They've spent years figuring out what they value, what they believe, and what kind of life actually fits them. And clarity is a powerful thing. Not everyone who thinks deeply will succeed. Not everyone who moves quickly will regret it. But the traits that make some people feel behind early in life can become strengths later on. Because a life built slowly isn't necessarily a life built poorly. Sometimes it's a life built deliberately. And there is a difference.